Hello again. So I just finished reading the first chapter of Cybernetics, um, and it's a book about how to change your self-image. It was written by a plastic surgeon who realized that after doing plastic surgery on the face, well, the reason why people do plastic surgery on the face is to change their self-image. But one thing it didn't change was their self-image internally or their ego. So I just read the first chapter and I found it really interesting about how even if you change anything in your face visually, it doesn't really make you content or happy or satisfied. And that's one thing that everyone wants when they want to try to level up in terms of finances, diet, health, six pack, money, girlfriend, status game. That's a way of leveling up. And plastic surgery is the same thing. So let's just break it down from the very basics, okay? And this is a method that if you can remember, you can worry, you can tie your shoes, you will have no problems changing your self image, okay? So self image is everything, hence why people do plastic surgery. They put, for guys, they put hair growth ointments to make their hair grow, especially when they're receding. It's a big thing for guys. For me, it was the fact that my I only have one eye fold on that side, and I was very self-conscious about that when I was a kid. But now I don't really care. When you get older, wrinkles. I mean, this is the thing that I'm kind of worried about now. Moles on my face. Again, if I'm recording, you can't really see too much. I mean, you can see a bit, but again, I was like weirded out about that when I started talking in front of the camera. And as I was a kid, I grew so much hair everywhere that I was kind of like, what? I'm supposed to be like Asian, aren't Asians supposed to be hairless? That really made me self-conscious. And what that created was self-doubt. And this self-doubt formed into an ego that created a negative creative mechanism of insecurities that I didn't like about myself. And I started comparing what I had to what other people were having that looked great or successful. And I was downgrading myself, which is something that everybody does. If you can be creative negatively, then the opposite can occur because being creative can be anything, both positive, negative, and neutral. But for most of the time, it's negative. And why is that? So from evolution and our past ancestors, we were meant to be afraid and paranoid of the tiger eating us and the bear chasing us. That is this feeling of being scared is what keeps us alive. Those that weren't scared or too confident were eaten. Okay? So this is where people say they get this lizard brain from, which is this fight or flight mechanism where when something happens, we just freak out, and it's in the amygdaloid center for those nerds out there, which controls fear. Okay, and it's very useful to keep us alive, but it's also can cause a lot of anxiety and self-doubt as it remains active in the modern society. Even when there's no apex predator eating us, it's still active and controlling our decisions and what we get scared of. And if we look back and compare, our older generation would think we're absolutely pussycats. Okay? From what they went through, all the hardship, physical hardship, and they compared us, we are considered weak men or weak people. Okay? So what is the solution for this? Change your self-image. So why does having a mole and asymmetrical eyelids have anything to do with your goals? The fact that this is in my head and I can see that there's something wrong with me physically, that must mean that I am insufficient in some kind of way. It's a weird, messed up way that the brain works, but from a visual point of view, I guess if you can see it as a fruit with no blemishes, if my face was a fruit with blemishes, no one's going to pick me. So that's pretty much where it comes from. But if you can identify your goals, this can be mitigated. So if I know that I'm not being a symmetrical male model or working with someone who cares about symmetry, I've got so much opportunity to do what I can do, which is what I'm doing right here, just talking, okay? And I don't really care what I look like. I mean, I think I'm not gay. I mean, I'm not. I can talk, and I've got internet, and I'm writing notes, and I've got a brain. That's enough for me, okay? So we're all playing the status game, and we all want to be leveling up. Okay, we don't want to be this version of ourselves. We want to level up. And as I said in a previous video, what you are right now is the lowest standards of who you could become. Let me repeat that again. What you are right now, with all the decisions you made, is the lowest quality of yourself that you have become. Hence why we all want to level up. Okay? So we're all going to be riding waves of trends and things that we want to be involved with a community or with a group of people. So in Australia, we had the hipster movement 10 years ago. Now it's the Eshe movement. And then we're getting fades, and now we're back into the mullets and going to raves. Don't get caught up with this. Sure, it looks cool, do it, but be aware they're trends, and the mullets are going to go away soon, and something else is going to come back. Okay. So what can you do? Psychological self-image. Don't change what you can't. So sure, you can get a mole removal, waxing, plastic surgery, but as this book is saying, these physical changes aren't going to change your psychological self-image, which is this ego that we're fighting against. So understand that every day is a war between your old self and who you want to become. And I wonder whether or not this is where war stems from. With all these horrible things that are happening in the world, is it really coming from in our head? The war between the ego and who you want to become, who you want to transcend to, who you want to level up to. Okay? So every day, the old self is winning. The old self is winning by sitting on the couch, eating junk food, not going to the gym, being comfortable, being all shriveled up, being skinny, anorexic, fat, shy, anxious. These are examples of the old self winning the war inside your mind. And it wants to keep living inside your mind because it's developed the privilege to stay there for good because it's been there for so long. The new self must do everything it can to fight off the old self. So how do you beat this old self? So ego, which is the old self, hates risk. Okay, it doesn't want you to be taking risks because you get eaten by the lion. But there's no lions in Australia or wherever you're from. Maybe if you're watching this in the jungle, then you don't have internet, so you're probably not watching it at all. But those that are watching this has internet, and there's likely not going to be any tigers with internet service. Egos hates you being confident. Doing this and recording myself, there's a sense of confidence you have to be portraying, okay? To get good and to be okay with failure and to be okay with talking in front of the camera. Ego hates this, okay? These are your weapons to destroy the old self and to create the new self. So new self is the goal, and you want to be a better version of yourself each and every day. Ego hates you trying new things. Think about that. If you keep trying new things every day or just keep repping out positive things, the ego isn't going to like that. The ego is going to be like, what? I don't want to leave here. I love it here. If you love yourself so much, you got to get better, okay? So the conclusion to what I'm saying in this video, and the reason why I'm doing freestyle conversations, is to analyze my subconscious. With all these ums, buts, as, tones and inflections of how I say things, I am really self-analyzing with what I'm saying, because this is the ego talking right now. This is me trying to beat my old self and me trying to level up. So this is one thing that I want you guys to start doing. If you feel like you're stuck and you want to level up, start recording yourself. Because these are the things I'll tell you straight up what you're going to be faced with. If you've never taken a selfie before, or if you're camera shy, You want to get your camera, get your phone, okay? Take a photo. You're going to look at that photo and you're going to be like, one thing, what the fuck, I look ugly. That's going to be the first response. And that's the ego saying, buddy, you're staying right here. But if you want to beat that, you're going to take more photos and you're going to start recording more. And you're going to get used to looking at yourself in the camera because the ego hates that. Okay? I'm assure you, after a week of doing this, of recording yourself and doing selfies, the ego is going to start to lose. Okay? The ego wants to shut you down. So make sure you do that. Super easy. This is another thing. How to use the phone correctly. Okay? The ego wants you distracted. Infinite scroll, social media, create more than you consume. The ego wants consumption. But the better self, upgraded version of yourself, wants a better relationship with technology. So you are creating alongside technology. You're not consuming alongside technology. Okay? So I'm going to end this today. And if this is going to help anyone with any self-image problems or leveling up problems, it's free. All you need is a phone. No tigers are going to be chasing you. And you must address your own ego and win the war inside your brain and inside your mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.